Hi, Tommy. How you doing? Hey, thanks for the chat. I'll tell you what, I designed the blacktop template, and I'll explain a little bit of my thinking behind it when I did it. One of the things I wanted to do was create a web template that had a video background, which is kind of cool. A lot of people are asking for that now, but I also realized that not everybody's going to want that. So what I did is I created sort of the index page here is the only page in the site with the video in the background. So if we actually pulled this up, let it load in here, and you've probably seen this already, and it's going to load in the video in the background, and you can change that video to any YouTube video that you have access to. Okay, so I said, okay, what if somebody doesn't want video? Well, then I created index 1, which is I think the one that you want. Okay, and let's just pull this up and I'll show you the difference between the three. Index 1 here has this section right down here. It's the same with the video. So I just lied. I'm sorry about that. But it does have the video in the background, but it has a little bit of a different section here at the very top where it's more content oriented. And this one here has like three sort of like pictures that pop into place. You can replace those with your own, but you know, you may not want to use that. So just to make it a little bit more content focused, I basically duplicated that index page and just put content right here as opposed to the pictures that sort of slide into place. So correcting myself, that's the difference. That's the difference between index and index 1. Index 2 and 3 are almost the same, except when we look at number 2, it's going to have a picture in the background. Okay, and there's the picture right there, and the picture is static. It doesn't change, it doesn't do anything, it's just a background image. If we look at index 3, that's a very similar idea, but if you watch the picture in the background for a little bit of time, you'll notice that the image actually, it does what we call the Ken Burns effect. It sort of transitions, it increases in size, and it sort of rotates slowly in the background. It's a very subtle effect, but if you watch the mug here, you'll see that it starts to disappear off the top of the browser for a certain period of time, and then it's the effect sort of reverses itself. Other than that, the content in the page here, exactly the same as index 1, index 2 and 3, they're all the same, right? And of course index 4 is a completely different layout, right? And that was no big image in the background of the header. It's a shorter header and gets more to the content a little bit faster. Okay, now that was the explanation between the pages, and what I suggest you do is you can pick and choose. First of all, you can always, if you delete a page and you want it back, you can always re-download the template and drag it back in. However, what I suggest when anybody's building a website, if you find a page you're not going to use, just let's say for example you're not going to use these 3 index pages. Just grab them and put them into the pages folder for now. You can delete them later on. Okay? Now let's say you want to use index 1 instead of index. You would open up your index 1 page. And then while it's open, you go to the File, Save As, and then you go and find index, because this is the one that obviously has to be the root page of the site, and hit Save. Hey, it already exists. You want to replace it? You go, yep. And that's it, you're done. You've just overwritten the previous index page with a new one. And if you ever need the original one back, you can always re-download the template, grab a copy of it, and drag it into your site. So I hope that sort of answers your question, gives you a little bit of a backstory on why we had those extra pages. It was just some different design ideas, and I didn't think the video was going to fly with everybody, so I created some different layouts. And with the original index page where we have the screenshots of the template, I thought, well, that's not everybody's going to want to use that, so I also created a copy of that page and just had content in place of the pictures to make it a little bit easier to work with that particular page.